I love the new Scythe weapons in the Siege of Paris DLC. There are 4 in total, and I already figured out some nice tactics to use them more effectively. We'll of course tell you where to find all 4 weapons as well, and way more. Of course, if you enjoy the Valhalla content here on the channel, then don't leave a like to show your support. And let's go. Giveaway for 2,300 Helix credits can be found in the pinned comment. There is namely a pack coming in like 2 or 3 weeks with another Scythe, the one that got already leaked. So, giving you a chance to win that. Be sure you are a subscriber, by the way, before you enter, and good luck. Because that is the thing, while you can still get one-handed sword for free through the festival till August 19th, and then likely later on a second one when the River Raid update hits in early September, these sites that I will go more in depth on in this video are right now, just like the sickles, exclusive to expansions that are part of the Season Pass. I'm sure we will get a free site at one point later on, just like the sickles will be coming to the game for free as well later, but it will likely be a while. So, right now, and likely for the time being, the Siege of Paris is only where you can get them, and when you got that DLC, they are very easy to find. One is already in the early part of Paris. You go to very early on for a main mission. It's over here on the map. It took me some time to figure out how to get it, but it's like in a smaller building next to the church. That's where you can dive, and then you want to follow that to get the Scythe of Tribulation. Quite like the look of this one. It's massive, silver, and looks more advanced than some of the other sites I will touch on in a moment. It also has a great perk, putting fire on your weapon after a successful light or heavy finisher hit. So let's look at the combos of this new weapon type first. Because we got a light attack combo, which has you swing the weapon around 3 times with a nice swing there at the end. The heavy combo is quite similar, also 3 hits, but at the end you do an extra swing for the finisher, which is also quite strong. You can also do this attack at the end of a light attack combo, so do 2 faster light hits first, and then the heavy attack to swing that weapon around 2 times. And if you then successfully hit a target with the final hit of one of those combos, the Scythe of Tribulation goes on fire for 10 seconds. And this already works when just hitting the first swing of that heavy finisher, by the way. And also, if the enemy blocks, so you do not deal any damage, the effect will still trigger. And what you can also do is just swing the weapon in the air. As long as the finisher hits the enemy, the fire effect will go off. It's overall really strong. And what I then do when the weapon is on fire is use the amazing offhand attack, where you swing the Scythe around even longer than your stamina bar suggests, by the way. And after that you do a nice extra swing. Like, this attack in particular is amazing. And before I show you a very nice tactic in combination with this offhand attack, let's first look at the other Scythe weapons you can find in the DLC. One you can also find in Paris, like, you cannot miss it. It's part of a main mission. It's after the first black box mission, actually, and that's the Scythe of Revolt. Increasing your speed by 20 when surrounded by 3 or more enemies. So that's like 50% more speed if you look at the base stats of the scythes. It doesn't really go to plus 20 though. Without the perk, I have 53.3. And when I'm surrounded by 3 or more enemies, it goes to 67.3, which is still really nice for slow weapons like the scythes. Great during rebel missions where you are surrounded by a ton of enemies, but when they are like far from each other, you will not have the effect. And there are of course a ton of archers in the Siege of Paris too. So it's mostly great during certain activities and also when using 2 scythes. Not sure if you dual wielded both weapons already. You of course need to have the heavy dual wield skill unlocked to be able to do this in the first place, but it's really slow without any speed buffs. While if you got the perk from the Revolt Scythe, so the 20 extra speed, they can swing these weapons around way faster. Like, you immediately notice it when the perk is not active anymore. And you see me now use the Revolt Scythe with the Wretched Scythe, which you can find over here on the map. There is a hidden entrance near that big building, which you have to like shoot open. And maybe you already noticed it, but all these sites are hidden under the ground. This weapon also has a pretty good perk, 40 crit chance after a successful blade hit. So, any hit. As we discussed during the one-handed sword video, you will have to play around crit chance to be able to benefit from like crit chance in general. Just using this scythe without any other crit chance items is basically useless. So what I do is use the Viper bow, 2 Niflheim items and 2 Feign armor pieces, and when you like play around these perks, you will totally see more crit numbers appear. So we can finally make more of a crit build, and I will totally be diving more into that in the future. It will not get as crazy as Odyssey, of course, but still, it's better than it ever was in Valhalla. The final scythe you can get is the Bloodied Scythe. So yes, it has blood on the blade, as the name suggests. You have to find a key from a larger enemy to open the door to loot the chest. And you find it, by the way, over here on the map. Okay, this one is not under the ground. The perk is interesting. You namely have a kill chance with light and heavy finishers on regular enemies with low health, which is like 30% health or less. So what this means is that enemies can sometimes die when you just hit them with a finisher while they have a 30% health or less. So it looks like a huge damage spike. But yeah, the problem is that it's very hard to trigger. Like, you have to hit a finisher on a low health enemy. And when enemies are low health, you mostly kill them pretty fast anyways with just regular hits. So I think it's a fun idea, like I applaud them for that, but it's not really something you can build around. I also tried it against a new French noble enemy, but yeah, the perk of course suggests that it only works on regular enemies, and yes indeed, during this Drangir type fight, the perk doesn't trigger. Would be pretty strong of course if it did. My tactic with the scythe, by the way, is to put a bomb on the enemy from the Golden Flame ability. As I said before, I keep it at level 1. When he gets up, I put the bomb on him again and get all my stamina back because I used an ability, and then I can use the offhand attack again, and you can just repeat this tactic. It's pretty OP. This works, by the way, on every enemy. Another thing you, by the way, see me do a lot is the Vengeance of Thor ability, which really, with these new weapon types, like also with the one-handed swords, became my favorite ability. With the scythe, it's awesome. You swing the weapon around 2 times and can hit enemies easily in a large radius. I mostly activate it immediately, but you can also of course charge it up to make it a bit stronger. If I had to rank the scythes, I would say the Tribulation one is the best, followed by the crit chance and speed one. It just really depends on the other items you use and the activity you are doing. The Bloodied Scythe is the worst in my opinion, although if you found better ways to use it, totally let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for way more Valhalla content if you haven't already, want to go more in depth on the abilities, and I also got some fun build ideas, so stay tuned for that. A like on this video would of course really help me out, and totally check out my previous video on all the armor sets in the DLC and how you can best use them. You can watch that by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you next time. Have fun with the Siege of Paris, and goodbye.